Kanye West has finally released the highly anticipated Vultures 2. And honestly, it's not that bad. The album has a lot of tolerable music that I won't skip if it comes on, which in 2024 is good enough for Kanye, I guess. Because even though I do think it's a cool little album, I gotta admit, I feel like Kanye needs to retire. And I know that people are gonna get mad at me for that, but let me explain. Because it all starts not with Vultures 1, but going back to Donda. So the year is 2021, and though Donda is an album that's way too long, it still felt fresh, felt innovative. In retrospect, the album is an album where Kanye recognizes his age. He isn't trying to keep up with the trends of hip-hop. He's doing his own thing while he lets the young cats take care of that. It's the reason why a song like Moon is able to shine, or a song like Off the Grid, for example. And that's not me taking anything away from Kanye, because it does take talent to be able to coexist with so many different styles. And I guess that's my favorite part of Donda, where it's a lot of styles coming in together and sounding cohesive. From Roddy Ricch to Jay-Z to even the bonus track with Andre 3000, everything just seems to be right. Of course, I'm not saying it's perfect. The album is way too long and it can be cut down, but even what we got with the finished product felt like Kanye. What came after the album? Well, I don't know about that. After the release of Donda 1, Kanye did stay quiet for a little bit, and then he went into crash out mode again. But I don't know, I guess of all the crash outs, this is one of the most understandable ones, considering that his wife divorced him. Not only did his wife divorce him, he got replaced by the white dude from SNL that he bitched into paying for dinner that one time. But ultimately, the outcome of this crash out would be apparently cutting ties with Kid Cudi and starting beef with Billie Eilish. Oh, and very publicly wanting to kill Pete Davidson. It's safe to say that 2022 was already to a much more interesting start than 2021 for Kanye. Especially because rumblings of Donda 2 kept pouring out from everyone. And then we technically never got the album. And I only say technically because officially, to buy the album, you needed to have this Yeezy product that was worth $200. That really didn't work. And it was just like shitty brand integration, which led to myself and most people not even acknowledging Donda 2 as an official album. Because in all reality, it wasn't. It's unfinished and uninspired. Had it released, it would have been the worst Kanye album at the time. And somehow Vultures 1 to me is worse. Releasing earlier this year, Vultures 1 was one of the most controversial albums in hip-hop. Kind of because of what Kanye was talking about inside the album, but mostly because of what Kanye was saying outside of it. Like, I don't know how you end up defending Hitler, is all I'm saying. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to thank y'all for 45k. Almost halfway there to 100k. If you would like to subscribe and join the journey, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to, but you know, I can settle for a like. I wouldn't mind that either. But here's the thing, and I know this might be a hot take and you guys might disagree with me, but I think morally bad people in real life can make good art. Let's say Michael Jackson did touch those kids. Billie Jean is still fire, dog. Sometimes I still listen to I Believe I Can Fly. And even outside of music, a lot of people hype up this melting clock picture, right? But do you know that the artist behind it fantasized about Hitler? Probably not, because it really doesn't matter. Good art at the end of the day is just that, good art. And personally, I just didn't think Vultures was good at all, except for Burn. If every Kanye song on Vultures sounded like Burn, I'd be a happy man. I do remember people hyping up Carnival for some reason, which I definitely understand. It's one of the better songs on the record. But one thing about this song that you can't say about most Kanye songs that go viral or are a big hit is that the song didn't need Kanye. At least not Kanye as a rapper. The dude sucks in this song. And I guess luckily people stopped hyping it up, but it was over the dumbest reason. The damage that the quote-unquote TikTok Riz party did to Vultures is insane. I've never seen so many people immediately turn on an album as much as they did after the TikTok Riz party. Well, I should clarify, after the Riz party and after Yo Dot I Got You. For those that don't know or don't remember or chose to forget, Kanye West did try to insert himself into the big three beef. And I think most people didn't want to make fun of Kanye, so they just kind of ignored it. Of course, except for the iconic line, or I guess the infamous line, "Yo, Dot, I got you." Which brings me as to why I think Kanye should retire. Because Kanye's whole career has been built on being ahead of trends, being the trendsetter. But you can only be that for so long before you start looking desperate. And you can only be rich for so long without becoming out of touch. And in 2024, the Kanye West brand is out of touch. Personally, when I see a Kanye release, I don't get excited anymore. At least not in the way I used to in like 2018, 2019. I see a Kanye release on Twitter and I just kind of scroll past it. Like, I don't know, personally, the most interesting thing that has happened Kanye-wise in the past year is that a song from his from like 10 years ago leaked and it cost $30,000. And I know it's not just me that thinks that Kanye has gotten stale. Drake released 4 to 5 diss tracks where he dissed like the entirety of hip hop. And I don't think Kanye was mentioned even once, which I guarantee wouldn't have happened if the beef took place 2 years ago, for example. But now Kanye has lost a lot of his aura. You don't even hear the good old Kanye West is a genius, but like, I remember that used to be something that people always had to say before they criticized Kanye. And with all of that being said, I guess we can get into Vultures too. Like I said, it's a very tolerable album. I definitely hear a lot of songs that I wouldn't skip, but there's no songs here outside of 530 that I would go out of my way to listen to. 530 a bop, I ain't gonna lie. But the record more than anything leaves me thinking that Kanye is entering his Celtics Shaq era. And for those who don't know what a Celtics Shaq era, it happens to every celebrity, every sports figure, every artist. It's basically recognizing whatever celebrity you're talking about as washed. But you see, me personally, I don't see Celtics Shaq as that bad. He was a role player, and as a role player, he was very serviceable. And that's what I think about Kanye right now. Sure, Vultures 1 and by extension Vultures 2 will probably do great commercially, but not so great critically. Some hip hop fans will hype it up because it's Kanye, and sometimes all you need is a name in hip hop. But to me, the Kanye story is set. He's an old man desperately racing against time and trying to prove that he's still cool, because that's what Kanye's career has been about his whole life, proving that he deserves to be there, that he's cool, and he's just not anymore. If 2024 has proven anything, it's that. As a rapper, hip hop is just no longer in need of Kanye. And nothing proves that more than the 5 words that Kanye used to try to insert himself into the big 3 beef. Like, I don't know, I know it's not that big of a deal. Yo, Dot, I got you is kind of funny and it's not that crazy. But to me, this is the let them eat cake of hip hop. Just an old man showing how out of touch he is. Vultures 2 is okay. That's my review. Anyways, if anybody's watching this channel for the first time and thinks I'm hating just to hate, look at the screen right now, bro. That's a Kanye wallpaper I made in 2020 because I loved Kanye and I love Kid Cudi. I still do love Kid Cudi, not as much Kanye. But still, I just wanted to say that I hope Kanye does retire though. It is getting sad. But with that being said, shout out to me, shout out to Jay Dilla, shout out to y'all, and shout out to God. And yeah.